All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're listening to Patreon. Tell your friends, come on board. We need more subscribers to keep this thing going, because if we don't get more, I'm going to fucking kill all of you. Come over to your houses and stab you in the face. Oh, wait a minute, you're the people who are already listening. I'll come over and give you hugs, and then the person sleeping next to you who doesn't bloody listen to it, I'll stab them in the face. And all the other people who don't listen, you can suck my big fat cock. Right? The reason I say these things is because not enough people are listening, and I know I can't get cancelled on this particular platform.
I do feel like that's a really good promo clip.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. We're happy to have you here. You've paid your money. You're in your bath. Put in a bath bomb. Put on some Enya to listen over the top the same time as you're listening to this. And sail away, sail away, sail away. I'm joined by Forrest, Kelly, Jack and Dawn.
Hello.
It's pretty good.
Just did a podcast on vibrators.
Just did a podcast on vibrators, which might have been why you heard that buzzing noise in the background. And why my teeth were chattering. We were on vibrators.
Oh, I thought you were sucking a vibrator.
Yeah, no, we were sitting on one going... You could chip a tooth. I bet you there's been a lot of people chip tooths on vibrators over the years.
I don't think they go in your mouth a lot.
Yeah, but I bet you people have done that. Like some guy's been fucking his bird and he's put the vibrator in his mouth so he can feel like a DP situation. Then he accidentally hits the trigger and then, oh, God, I've chipped a tooth. Now I got to drive it to the dentist. Can my day get any worse?
I do know a lot more people than I thought used condoms on vibrators and dildos.
Is that to keep it clean?
Yeah, avoid cleanup.
Yep.
There you go, Jim.
Well, and if it's like active partner bringing a dildo and you're not like, did you buy it on the way here?
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's nothing worse than opening up the sex drawer.
Yeah.
We've all got one.
Yeah.
And then it's a new partner. And
Yeah.
you're like...
Great.
And you're like, ah...
I changed
And the amount of good sex toys that have just been thrown in the bin because of the end of a relationship is fucking the landfill.
Keeps the industry
There must just be a hill somewhere in Alabama that looks like grass that if you just tread on it wrong, the whole thing goes.
I think it's a circle of life. I think you get a new vibrator when you break up. You throw away a vibrator when you get a new partner.
Wait,
it
you're
all
saying...
comes back
Right,
around.
just keep the boxes, put it back in
My
the
wife-
sterilize it, put it back in the
My
box.
wife made me buy a new mattress
Really?
when I got with her. Yeah.
That's because he
fair.
comes loads,
That's fair.
you know?
Yeah.
Wait.
Your headboard is dripping.
When you got married or started dating?
Not when we started dating.
Yeah.
A little bit into the race. She goes, I'd like a mattress that wasn't part of previous, because we're married now.
Yeah.
We need a mattress that's our mattress.
Seems presumptuous for a
A
girlfriend.
holy
to ask.
mattress.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Still using the same bed sheets, y'all.
Nice. And the headboard that's covered in cum.
What was that, a wink and a...
Yeah, she hasn't thought this fully through.
Pillows? New pillows?
My wife has a very particular type of pillow she likes to sleep on. I've got one that I call Old Lumpy.
Yeah, it's not even lumpy. It's like so tiny.
Yeah, because it's made of feathers and the feathers have been crushed. It's now a ball that's about that. It's not even. It's nowhere near a basketball or a soccer ball or anything. Like that. It's smaller than a European handball.
Yeah, you put it in your suitcase when you travel, don't you?
Sometimes it can lay flat just like a sheet.
Yeah, I've seen it.
If you like,
I've seen it, yeah.
I lay it in three. So I go voomp, voomp, and then I bunch it up into a ball. And then I just sleep on it. It feels very rustic and it's very comforting to me.
How long have you had it?
Over 20 years, the same pillow.
If I sleep lying that flat, I'll snore heavily. So, like, if I'm sleeping by myself, I don't care. But if there's somebody else in the bed with me, then I have to like prop myself up. It's called apnea. It's being overweight. I don't know if you guys
So you don't snore too much?
Yeah, because then if there's a woman there, I'm like, I'm gonna just do this. I'm like, did I snore? And like, no. I'm like,
No, you slept
still got it.
upright like a creep.
no, not upright.
I hung by my feet.
Not upright. Not upright. Just two pillows high, and you just a little bit. Not upright. Like just.
Now I have given up. I've given up everything these days. I have no nicotine left in my system. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do cocaine. Cocaine was the one that I gave up many years ago, and then would do it very occasionally, a line here, a line there, very occasionally. And I would always lie about doing it. I'd always go, I haven't done it in years, whatever. But I'd done like a line here, a line there. And every girlfriend I've had since I've given up cocaine has been able to, it's my wife was Yeah, the wife was the last one, so it's just me wife. Anyway, so my wife, I gave up cocaine, but I only snore if I've gotten blind drunk or done cocaine. And so you can tell when I'm drunk. And so if I was snoring, that's how I would get caught, that I'd been doing it. And then another thing out of nowhere, if I do cocaine, my farts reek. And my farts are normally odorless.
Huh.
I'm an odorless farter.
Coke farts.
Normally, not every time, not every time.
Odorless
No.
farter.
Not every time.
I've never, let me,
But
I'm gonna Google Coke farts.
if I fart on cocaine, I don't know what it is, but it does something to my system. And like I've taken medications, antidepressants and stuff like that, other chemical type of things in my body, but cocaine makes my farts rancid.
I don't know if you're an odorless farter.
I farted twice in this podcast and no one has said anything.
Coke fart is in Urban Dictionary. And it says, once you start putting cocaine into your body, it just wants to shit. Prior to the shit, you begin to fart off the log, which makes the fart stink especially bad.
Science.
Used in a sentence, man, this is some great blow. I've already got the Coke farts after one line.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
By Spankford.
So it's a quality. You had quality Coke. That's the good news.
I farted. That means there's baby laxatives through the whole thing.
Okay.
But now I don't know.
He doesn't even fart anymore.
I don't do anything. I just do weed. My life's so boring. Everything's gone. Everything's gone.
Yeah, your
Right,
life's
me too.
boring. I mean, just to tour through Europe.
I know, but imagine how fun it would have been if I was
Sober.
coked up the whole time.
It was pretty fun on the weed.
Yeah, I was illegally high in many countries.
There you go. You still got it.
I still do illegal drugs in some countries. You've heard it here first.
Wow.
Greece.
Greece.
Greece was
It's
sketchy.
illegal in Greece?
Yeah, it's illegal everywhere in Europe except for
Holland.
obviously Holland, but there was a couple other countries.
Portugal.
Portugal. Wasn't it like in Austria sort of legal?
There's hemp stores all through Austria.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like you're not meant to. It's only meant to be THC. No THC. It's only meant to be CBD.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, and I'm like, hey, you got anything with THC? And they're like, well, officially not, but we have these things that will get you high.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't going to get me high. And then I got high.
It worked.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened in Minnesota?
What?
They accidentally, the Republican Party had a law in front of them that said they were legalizing all hemp products or anything derived from hemp. And they were like, okay, great. And signed it. And they mistook it for like the CBD, no psychedelic effect. And the Democrats just sat there and were like, okay. And they were like, why are you guys so quiet? But then they signed it, and literally the quote or whatever after they signed it was, "Wait, what now?" and they had to completely admit that they didn't mean to do it. They didn't know they were doing it, and now it's still hemp derived, so it's still like a little bit different than what's
it's like
legal in
that weird-
California.
yeah.
But the idea is that you can still get high. You
We
can
need
still
to
get
pray
stoned.
more on the fact that people are uneducated
I-
and don't know how to read stuff.
the right
Yeah.
and the left
Yeah.
all blame the other side of not knowing science.
Right.
That's like both sides go like this. So the left go like this. Global warming is a thing, and they're like, no, it's bullshit. And they're like, it's science like this. And then the right wing people are like this. There's only two genders, and left like, nah, that's not the
Yeah.
way. And they're like, it's science. Everyone goes for the science route when it fucking suits them.
Absolutely.
And says the other one. It's like how you got like all the people in LA are like this. Those dumb people in Florida, don't they understand that the water levels are rising and then in 10 years they're all going to be underwater and they'll be dead? It's science. And then they go, but in California you're going to have earthquakes, so they're going to flatten the whole place. And we're like this, you got to live your life.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Sort of.
What bit did I do wrong?
No,
I'm
it's
not
fine. It's-
saying.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying-
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not- not saying one's right, one's wrong, whatever. I'm just saying that's what the two sides say.
I do think there's a
Yeah.
lot of like, who could ever live there? That happens all over the United States. I don't know the diversity of like weather in Australia, but I feel like there's a lot of like, I could never live where there's those cold winters. I could never live where they have guns. I could never live where they have earthquakes. I could never live where they have
Oh, yeah,
tornadoes.
yeah.
I could never, and it's ultimately you're like, yeah, life sucks and is hard, and you're trading one for
everywhere's
another.
got their bit. Yeah, I find it very hard to live here with the taxes. The taxes make me angry on a daily basis. And it'd be all right if we were living in a utopia
That's
and we
fair.
were sliding around
That's
the
fair.
town like out of Futurama in tubes.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like,
Even without taxes.
I can see where this is happening.
That's right.
Even without taxes, everything's expensive here. Like, I'm not saying it's not, I know things have gone up everywhere, but it's like things like it like creeps up on you, and then you're like, wait, that used to be like $8.
Oh,
Now that's-
McDonald's is now taking the piss.
Yeah.
McDonald's used to be
Yeah.
where poor people went to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're just
Yeah.
like, a fucking
Yeah.
Happy Meal's like $14.
What?
Have you been in a McDonald's lately? It's fucking outrageous
Yeah,
what
it's
they're
great.
doing.
Yeah,
That
so
might
I-
explain my recent credit card bill.
So I really like McDonald's breakfast. You know, I don't get it every day, but I do like it.
I love
and,
McDonald's
And
breakfast.
it used to be like you get like the Egg McMuffin or Sausage McMuffin, the hash brown, and then whatever drink. If you got a coffee or orange juice, whatever. And it was like $7 or $8. Now that's like 11 or 12. It's like a huge
Yeah.
jump. Like,
I have one that is Claire's Boutique
Yeah.
at the mall. You used to go into Claire's and you could get 10 pairs of earrings and a buy one get. And I took my daughter there to give her a treat, and I'm thinking it was buy one get 5 half price or something deal. Like, fill your basket and we'll go up. And it was $64
Shit.
Yeah.
for like headbands and and I was like, what?
Yeah.
How did this used to be $3.99? It was nothing.
I used to just steal everything from there when I was
That's
young.
why you cunts, you are the cunts that made it, because now they have to take into account all the shoplifting assholes.
I was a bit of a klepto. in
No,
high
that's
school.
the,
It was
that's
easy
the-
to steal.
That's
Yeah.
that's the
You fill a
shoplifting
basket,
capital
then
one.
you
It was,
leave.
it was like you have a different store shopping bag in your hand, and especially with earrings, like I could take them apart with one hand, so I just take them apart, put them back together, and just drop them in my bag. So I was never putting
smart.
like the whole thing in there.
I was only ever
Genius.
good at stealing belts.
Oh,
Because, you try it on this, but you're
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's easy enough. But guilty conscience. I couldn't do it anymore.
I've never shoplifted in my life.
nothing,
Never.
not even a little candy bar when you were a kid or
I
something.
took
like that?
one
Not a-
belt and a pack of
not a single
case
thing.
of
Why is that?
cigarettes.
I just didn't have the balls.
I think
or
the first
whatever.
thing I
don't know.
stole, I was like
just,
5 or 6. It was a bracelet.
Yeah.
My mom made me go back to the store and tell him.
Yeah, when I was
Awful.
a kid, like a candy bar here. There was like a convenience store we went into, and we were like skateboarding in it one day, me and my friend, which you're not supposed to do. And we had we were like getting chips and stuff and things off the shelf, and we were skating around trying to get other stuff. And the guy came over and was like, "Get the fuck out of the store! No skateboard!" And he kicked us out, but we had all the stuff in our hands still. Like we were holding it with the board, but we weren't trying to steal it. And then we were like, "Oh, so we could just do that now?" So we just go and we'll like, get a candy bar and skateboard. And we're like, "Get out! All right." And, did that? Yeah.
I had a mate who used to shoplift a lot, and I never shoplifted, but I did go with him while he did. I just
There's a
never-
rush that people get
Sure.
with it.
Yeah,
That's
so he shoplifted. Where you can buy Tic Tacs in packs of 10 in like the plastic sleeve.
Yeah.
Like that? He stole a whole thing and then slid them down his leg pants like that, right? And then the shop guy came up to us and he's like this, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And he's like, "Nothing." And we walked away.
Oh,
And then
Are
he's
those maracas in
Hey.
your pants or?
"Hey, what's that noise?" "Nothing." And then we ran. It was the loudest shoplifted item that's ever been shoplifted.
He didn't think that through.
These are mine I brought from home.
I stole a carton of Marlboro Reds when I was like in middle
That's
school.
hard because they're behind the counter.
It was Wisconsin, so they're
yeah.
sort of all over.
Next to the bread.
But it was like,
next to
it was
the
like
crib.
Robin Hood. Like I didn't sell them, and I smoked some, but I gave them. I was distributing. I was the
Yeah.
cigarette fairy to my friends for a
Marlboro
while.
Reds, though.
It was Wisconsin.
that's
They
a-
looked cool. That was straight marketing. That's the coolest cigarette there was.
I used to sell candy in
A
school.
Marlboro Red's a harsh cigarette.
I smoked
Yeah.
one time and threw up
They're good.
immediately.
Yeah,
it was
they're
just
So I used to.
Marlboro
harsh.
Lights. I went over to where did I go after that? I went to American Spirits.
Those were my favorite. The yellow box was
The
mine.
yellow box and they had organic.
Yeah, because those are organic.
The
Yeah,
yellow,
you're doing
yeah,
good
they were
stuff.
great.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it smokes shorter. I smoke too quick, and also
They took forever.
the bands around the paper that the little explosives that make the paper burn as it goes down. They didn't have that. That's where a lot of the 200 chemicals, 2,000 chemicals are in that little explosives that make the paper burn.
Oh, like why your joint goes out, but your cigarette doesn't.
Yeah, your cigarette.
That's the paper?
It has rings in it. Rings as it goes down. So it goes from one ring. There's a little tiny explosion where American Spirits didn't have that. That's why American Spirits took longer to smoke.
I loved that because your cigarette, your smoke
But it wouldn't
break
go
took
out?
forever.
They could, but not like a joint. They still probably had something in them, but they smoke different from other cigarette.
I got a little buzz from American Spirit all the time. I felt.
Oh no, you're still going to get the nicotine.
Yeah.
You're still going to get the nicotine, the tar, and all that type of stuff. But when they say it has over 2,000 chemicals, a lot of that's in the paper.
That's crazy.
I had just like quit. I smoked
I'm
Marlboro.
still not endorsing American Spirits in any way. They'll all fucking kill you.
Don't do it.
The worst thing you can ever do in your life, kids, if you're listening, the worst thing you ever do is smoke a fucking cigarette. I would endorse you to do other drugs before this.
Totally.
Word.
Yeah.
I have a child.
There's every other drug isn't as bad as that one. That's the one.
The only thing that makes that I resist, like when my daughter knows I consume cannabis, and I don't like. I just tell her it's like whiskey and beer. I just tell her it's the same. It's for grown-ups, and don't worry about it. But I don't ever want her to see me smoke a joint. And it's not because it's cannabis. It's because I don't want her to see me smoking.
Yeah.
I don't want that to normalize a cigarette for her.
I smoked pot with my mom one time, and I didn't. After that, I was like, I don't want to do that again. It was weird, and it was like a hurricane was coming, and
Let's get paranoid.
Like, maybe like a year before that, my mom said, "Hey, can you get me a joint?" And because I want to give it to her friends. She had all these friends that were musicians. And she at the time was occupational therapist working in the school system, and she was like, I can't, I'm not going to get caught. They're drug testing this and that, whatever. And so that was a year before that. And so we were preparing for this hurricane, and this is like back after college. I come back home for a little bit. I'm living there. And so we're preparing, and then we have the whole house boarded up, and then she just comes to my door and she goes, hey, you want to smoke a joint? I go, where do you have weed from? And she goes, that one you got me from. I was like, a year ago. She goes, yeah, it's been wrapped in like 7 saran wraps and things and like hidden. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Fine, I'll smoke with my mom. We went out on the patio and she smoked a cigarette because my stepdad was in there. And I don't know if he would have been upset or not upset, but she wasn't sure. So the cigarette was like the smoke screen. Like, I'll pretend I'm smoking a cigarette. So we sat out there and I smoked this joint with her. And it was really strong weed. And I got really high. And I don't know if my mom had smoked. At that point, later on when she would eat edibles when she had cancer and stuff, and I would get her the edibles and stuff. But previous to that, I think she was just smoking shitty weed and not the newer. And she was like fucking high. Like really, she was just like sitting there like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go in my room for a second. And then I'm in my room doing something like a desk, and I look up, she's just standing in my doorway, just staring at me. She goes, that is strong stuff in there. And I was like, yeah, it's like new, the way they make and stuff. And
there's a hurricane
And then
coming.
she just came in and like sat down on my bed and was just like sitting there like comatose. I'm like, I'm never smoking with you again. This is fucking weird. Like some people would smoke with their parents. So I think it's weird.
Oh, no. There is not a day that's coming in the future where I have weed with my dad.
Oh, I've done edibles with my mom.
No, my dad thinks it's the same as heroin.
Yeah, my mom, reefer
I
madness.
almost convinced, this is obviously not my dad or anything like that, but I almost convinced Lisa Vanderpump to have an edible with me. Very, very close.
Really?
There's still time.
I don't think Ken was up for it.
like close enough that she was reaching, or close enough that she was saying things like maybe.
She was like this, and what would I feel? How long would it be?
Yeah, she's not sure. Stay away.
She wasn't ready. My wife was pushing.
Also, you have a very strong tolerance, so you'd be like 40 milligrams, fine, and then you'd be like that. You'd have to for like 2 or 3 milligrams, 2 or 3 milligrams.
I wouldn't do that. I'll give her 5.
Yeah, maybe 3. I think 3 is for a beginner, is my opinion.
Oh, I can't even imagine going less than 5.
I get high with my mother-in-law.
I did 5 recently. It was just in space. It was crazy.
Wait,
my tolerance was 0.
They're not consistent. They're not terribly consistent. So sometimes a smaller amount.
Well, they're more consistent than Europe.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure.
I'll tell you something off the air, which I won't mention, but they're more consistent than Australia.
Yeah.
I posted a picture of the ones we had in Greece, and it said, hey, I'm selling these on offer up or whatever as a joke. And then some people didn't know what it is, but most people were like, are those edibles? I'm like, they were these homemade gelatin squares on my Instagram. They were all different sizes, chopped up. Somebody had made them from home, and then
it was like a jelly plate, like someone just sliced.
Well, no, and so they were like, and we were an hour outside of Athens because we had days for the show, so we were at this resort, and they go, oh, someone's going to bring him to you. And we're waiting. And finally the guy texts, some guy named Konstantinos. Then there's a guy named Zeus or something. It was just very Greek names. And then
Poseidon.
He goes, yeah, exactly. Literally. And then they go, he's out front now in the cab. And me and Amos and Jim had wandered around this property, and we were out in the front of this property now because the gate. We can get there. I walk across the street, the most beautiful thing you can imagine. A GNC, the Poseidon temple was there. It was really beautiful. And then just this guy in a cab.
I didn't. Wait, sorry. I thought you said a GNC, like the supplement store. Not the a GNC. I was like, why would that be beautiful? It just totally took me out of
Starbucks. Really
GNC. There was a Petco.
Yeah. And I'm just like staring at the guy from across the street. You and Amos were in the store. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I think this is the guy. And he was like, he was a guy that you would hire as a character actor, just for a scene in a movie. If you needed a guy that looked sketchy and you didn't know quite what he was, if he was good or bad, whatever. I walk across the street. He does not speak any English. And when I say any English, I mean hello. He wouldn't understand. And he's just like sitting there, and I go, hi. So I'm like waving, and I go, you here for me? And he's like, blah, 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 just great. I'm like, Konstantinos. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And then I think it wasn't Zeus, but it was another name. And he goes, ah. And then he just like goes over to the side of the seat and then hands me these gelatins wrapped in saran wrap. That's it. Not in a bag or anything. You can just see him. And it's been in his car.
Like a softball.
And it's been in his car for a while, and they're homemade, so they're a little bit soft. Like, these need to get to a fridge. No. And I go, okay. And I don't know if I had to pay him or anything, so I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like staring at him. I'm telling you, a good 10, 15 seconds, we're just like staring at each other. And he goes, blah, blah, blah. Then he turns and gets another bag of them. Like, I was like, what were you waiting for? That like,
it was a reveal.
Then he hands me another one. I go, okay. And he's like, takes off. And I'm like, all right, I don't know. But those ones were all over the map. Because those ones. Yeah. There was one day, and again, I am much less tolerant than you, but there was one day that you said you weren't feeling anything, and I was in space, and I had eaten a quarter of what you had eaten, and I was trashed. But they were stronger than you think too, because there was one. We were in this little village. I don't remember the name of it. But
I was stoned that day.
Yeah. But you said, I don't feel like too much, whatever. And we're like walking around the restaurants looking for shit to eat, and Jim's like, this looks pretty good. And there was like one of those plastic windows, but people were eating right behind it. You know, like the hangs out in that pattern. And you're just standing over their table for like a 30 count, and you're like, yeah, they got prawns, they got fish, and then they're just looking up.
I do that anyway.
I know, but you were pretty stoned. You're like, looks good. And I was like, all right, we got it back later.
I took 50 milligrams alone and went to Mount Vernon for the first time and had a blast. And there was a guy on the river who was on like a boat that like tours around. And I in my memory, he like watched me walk down this thing, and he had his leg up on a thing, and he was smoking a cigarette, which is bizarre anywhere you see someone just smoking. And he worked there, and he was like, do you want to go on a boat ride? And then look at me. You know, I'm covered in nautical tattoos. And I was like, yes, I do. And I got on the boat, and I went on a beautiful boat ride. I love weed. I think it's a very important part of my life.
I went and walked down the Vegas Boulevard the other day, stoned all by myself.
Great.
Just doing, you know how people go bar hopping? I did fast foods from around the world.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Stopped off, just got a small portion in each restaurant. Oh, hello, White Castle.
Don't mind if I do.
I'm going to have one little tiny burger.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like Epcot.
Yeah.
Well,
and I was high during the World Series of Poker game I was in as well.
Well, now I know why you didn't do so great.
Oh, no, that was the day I did all right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the day I did it. Well, I did
secret.
better, not all right. And there was one guy that I thought I'd won this hand completely. This is the hand that I lost by the stuff. And he was like, I had two pairs, but I had two pairs off the flop, and they were high pair. I lost I was ace jack, and I lost to like ace queen pair. Like it was that close. And I had the ace jack off the flop, and I went in pretty heavily, and he kept on going with me. All he had was a pair of aces, and then he got the last one at the end. But at the end, I went, all right, all in. You know, there was no other high cards. The only thing was a queen that could be. And I know how high he went in earlier on, and then I was just sitting next to the guy I was thinking about it. I was just like this, man, because I actually wanted his money. I was like, if I was you, I would go in because I'm really high and I'm an idiot. And so if you want to make money, I would go in.
Wait.
Great poker
And then he
face.
went in and he beat me, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?"
Well, you didn't lie.
So weed isn't always good. That was an hour when in Greece we went that resort. I don't know how much we talked about the resort or not on here.
Well,
But
there's a resort from hell.
yeah, but
The Greeks don't know what the Greeks don't know what they're doing. I'm happy to say this. Normally, you go to any country, you go, it's a wonderful place, blah blah blah. The Greek people, as I like to call them, the fat fucks of Europe.
Yeah.
Right, I like them. They're the only fat people in Europe. Me and Forrest were walking around like normal people. In the rest of Europe, people were looking at us.
Yeah. You
Americans
can't,
are
You
here.
can't buy clothing here.
Yeah. No. We were big men in the rest of Europe, right?
Yeah.
And then you come to Greece, where they're just like, we all retire at
Smoke
45.
cigarettes.
They're all
Yeah.
smoking cigarettes
every meal.
Everyone's sitting on a milk crate somewhere, smoking a cigarette.
And you said it's one of the only European countries. Oh, but and weed is not legal.
No, it was
see?
not.
No,
But
we's not. We were doing illegal drugs.
So
then.
we had some days off, and we were gonna stay. We stayed at this place. I can't even remember the name of it. About an hour outside of Athens,
near Poseidon's.
Poseidon Temple. Yeah, where the Aegean Sea.
Very well
It
said.
was literally the location
Beautiful.
was like stunning.
It was the most.
Like,
it was the most
yeah.
spectacular place
Yeah.
you could put a resort. If you couldn't make it
And-
better for what it was. There's other places with better tropical beaches and stuff like that. But if you want to see the Mediterranean, the Mediterranean in all of its beauty, with this monument, we saw Poseidon's monument
Yeah.
at all time on top of a hill, was right in front of beautiful pool, a lovely beach with those sort of like European sort of deck cherry type things like that, and the fucking resort sucked dicks worse than anything I've ever done.
Why?
They thought they were good.
Yeah,
they thought they
thought
were.
they were.
Yeah.
Why?
Jim didn't even have a shower curtain. Like no shower door, nothing. It was just like get in here, hope water doesn't get all over your nice like. And,
No, but
it wasn't
there's
cheap.
Just
it wasn't
mold
cheap. Yeah.
everywhere.
Mine and
Just-
Emma's room.
There was
yuck.
there was no so you know normally those resorts you have a few restaurants and they just go and we have a Chinese restaurant and the Chinese restaurant was four tables with no
in the
Chinese
corner,
decoration.
in the corner.
Give me a waving cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a waving cat. I don't ask for a lot. Just
Sure.
give me
A
one
lantern.
of these one of these cunts on a fucking thing. Maybe even have chopsticks. I don't know. Right? Go crazy.
Their Italian restaurant was like 5 tables shoved in. There was all these empty rooms where like, what are they doing this? This is our activities, but nothing was in them. There was like mine and Emma's room were when Jim came there and said, remember like just it looked like it was like a resort 4 or 5 years ago was good. It shut down during COVID, and then they're reopening it, but they were like trying to really fast to get everything up and running, and they're like, "It's beautiful." No, we're like, "No, it's not."
There was about 4 staff members who seemed to not sleep.
Yeah, they were the only ones
It
you would
was
see
like
over and
Faulty
over.
Towers. It was like the same 4 people all the time, and they'd be working.
As long as you were
reception,
happy,
and
we
then
were
they'd
happy.
be bringing you a plate of food, like
So we got high the first night. And we're like, well, let's try the buffet. Let's see if the buffet is good and stuff.
Now, for the people who don't get high at home, being high is synonymous with just enjoying shit food on another level.
And Greece, other than the food is excellent.
Fantastic. Everywhere you
Great
go.
food. Yeah,
great
yeah.
food. Great
you
food.
get. We ate at a place just on the side of the road one night.
Fantastic
like
meal.
Amazing meal. Like and you can't miss in Greece usually. There was not one dish at this buffet that was edible. I'm telling you, the feta cheese was bad. You're in fucking Greece. All you have to do is roll out of bed and get feta cheese. Like everything. And there was other people in there. This is why we thought we were crazy. There was other people like, good, huh? Like people were going up to the buffet like this. I'm like,
Paid
where are you guys
actors.
from? Yeah,
They were paid to be there.
That's what
yeah.
it felt like. But this is the thing about weed though, is like me and Amos and Jim were just sitting there putting food in our mouth like, this is disgusting. And then we're like, I'm gonna go get seconds.
You become a bottomless
It was
pit.
the
Yeah.
worst meal I've ever eaten, and I had 4.
It was terrible. It was
That's
so-
probably why they thought you loved
the
it.
desserts were okay.
The desserts
The
were
desserts
Yeah,
are
everybody
like,
else actually didn't like it, but they're holding their plates. They're like, good?
Oh no!
You guys have gone up
The only
16
other
times.
people with like there was a cult there.
Yeah, there was like some cult like
There was,
organized
there was a cult that were holding
retreat,
their
like a retreat.
their cult retreat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then there was like this weird thing, like they're driving us on a golf cart, me and Amos, and they go, yes, and like your suitcase is like literally in your lap. It's supposed to be a really nice resort, like put the suitcase there, and then they go, yes, this right here is Greco World. It was just like a kid's playground with like a little rock climbing wall. This will be filled with kids tomorrow. You'll see, it's very vibrant. You're like, why are you telling us this? And then this is the tennis court, the pool, blah blah. Okay, tennis court's closed, pool not heated. It was too cold out. No hot tub. It was
ice.
all the stuff was pooled out. Like everything
Yeah, the hot
was. Like,
tub, it was a terrible place.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about Greece, right? It's like the place isn't fucking finished.
Yeah.
It's the oldest place in civilization. If you see the Acropolis, right?
Yeah.
It is either ruins or a job they haven't finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's got. You'll be in even when you're in Athens. You'll be in a hotel room, this is the 5-star. This is the greatest hotel in all of Greece.
Yeah, because we were in Athens. Yeah.
Fucking wires hanging down off the roof. A TV. I had a wall. I had a flush wall
In
like
Athens?
this. Yeah, just
Yeah.
a wall. Just a wall. The TV was off center. It wasn't. You put it in the middle of the wall. And the same direction as the bed. You had the whole wall there, and the TV was just wherever the cunt walked in there and just went, and then screwed it on was where the TV said.
I know.
No one pulled out a tape measure.
The elevator. Don't forget the elevator.
Oh.
So this is this. So we moved from
That's
this
more of a
resort to
Rome
Athens. We moved from this resort to Athens. We're like, we'll just stay in Athens. The location, the second and
Dynamite.
again, right in the center of Athens, near all these amazing restaurants and like attractions and things you can look at. So there was 9 floors in this hotel. All of us were on the 8th floor except Jim was on the 9th. So to get to the 9th floor, though, you have to go up the 8th floor, which is already a small elevator, and then you tell them the elevator.
And then from the 8th floor to the 9th floor, there was another elevator.
Yeah, just for
that
one
could
floor.
only fit one person.
That's it. No, not even a bag.
Or one bag.
Yeah, that was it.
So it
I
becomes
didn't
like
believe- I didn't believe
becomes
Jim.
like one of those. It was a phone booth.
Yeah, yeah. Not
A
even.
phone
It was
booth,
smaller
right?
than a phone booth.
Smaller than a phone booth. So it comes down to like those riddles, like you've got a chicken and a fox and whatever, and it's a bag of seed, and you have to get the bag of seed over the river. But you can only carry 2 things at a time. Who goes with? You know what I mean?
And this hotel was arguably probably one of the nicer ones that you could stay at. Like, you are staying at the creme de la creme of the. But you walk outside and there's great food.
Yeah.
There's stuff to do and there's yeah. But
I know it's a fun time
Yeah.
out and this and that, but it's the Greece is. They need to fix the place.
I'd like to go. I went to Italy last year.
Italy's different bag.
Loved it. Totally. Rome, Amalfi, Sorrento.
Italy's fantastic. Although
Venice.
I will say this about food. I reckon the world's caught up with food now. It used to
Yeah.
be that you couldn't get that
That's
fresh
right.
pasta, that taste, unless you're in Italy. And now there's a place up the road from me that's
The pizzas,
very
even there
close.
were a few that like the best pizza you've ever had, and I'm like, I want to tell you yes. And I have a feeling the best pizza I ever had stole your pizza from you.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
that everything about the best pizza I've ever. But yeah, there's people doing this kind of
gelato though.
I got
Gelato.
Americano pizza in
and
Italy.
espresso.
No, but I'm saying
And gelato
I've had
everywhere.
good gelato in the United States, but the gelato we had in
The
Milan,
gelato in
and
Italy
Lake Como,
is a little step
there's
up.
something they're doing that's just slightly like this is better. I don't know. That gelato was really good. We were high.
When we were in Milan,
Maybe not,
one
maybe
of my favorite rock stars in the world, Nick Sesta, lives in Milan. Nick Sesta's the lead singer from Jet.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna be my girl? Dun dun dun. You know, everyone knows that song, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jet's an Australian band. I love Jet, and then they go to me. They go, Nick Sesta from Jet wants to meet you before the show, and he's coming to the show. And I'm like, I'll have dinner with Nick Sesta. I fucking love Nick Sesta. Right? So we have dinner with him. Really nice guy. Blah blah blah. Then we go off to do the show, and then it dawned on me, oh no. My intro song is a Jet song when I walk on stage. So first of
Why
all,
is it bad? That's great.
yeah, but it looks a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I love you.
Like you adjusted it for him.
yeah. Or I've done it to like.
Get close to him.
Yeah. I meant it when I said.
I said I was a fan, but my intro is a Jet song. But then another bit of panic came over me. I was like, have I paid for that? Because if I haven't, do I owe him a big...
Yeah.
So I ring my agents up like that. Hey, Jet song, I pay royalties and that. And they go, you pay about $3 a show royalties every
It's
time
like
you play.
ASCAP or
And I was
something.
like, all right.
We're in the clear.
Good. I didn't want him... Like, if AC/DC ever show up to one of my gigs, I'm fucked.
No, but I remember when the song was playing, you were like, we're in the wings, and you're like, yeah, Nick's in the audience.
Well, this is the thing is, so Nick came with his wife.
Yeah.
And she's a nice girl from Australia. She's not like she's an Italian lady who doesn't, she's another girl from Melbourne, right? The two of them live up near Lake Como.
I think they live in Milan and have a place.
They have a place in Lake Como, yeah. And so afterwards I said, I know that was your song like that, right? And his wife's like, what song? And he's like, that song at the beginning. He was like with his wife, the song at the beginning's my song. It's me singing.
Well, it's an obscure one. It's not
It's an
like
obscure one. And she goes, is it? And he goes, yes, it's my song. But it just shows it's like my wife came to Vegas the other day when we were doing our shows, and she saw one of the shows, and the first show I don't think she came and watched or whatever. And the other one she sort of watched a bit from the wing. She doesn't really, when you're married to someone, you've seen the show 1,000 times, she doesn't really need to see me. As I said, my wife's very supportive of my career in Miami, Nashville, Vegas, and New York. And then she cares not for my career in Cleveland. She lets my Cleveland part of my career.
Reno, she's not going to be in Reno.
Yeah, but then she goes like this, but stop saying this. This is what she says. She goes, I'll come along and support you next week. In what way? In what way is this support coming in?
She did watch the whole show from the wings. I was sitting next to her. That way. She came out on stage.
She came out and had a wave.
Oh, nice.
Because I tell jokes about her.
Yeah.
But it's always like, also my wife's not stupidly young. Like I'm not like married to like, we won't name other comics, but I'm not, my wife's 32, right? And I'm 46. So it's, it's still an age gap. But my wife looks young. My wife looks like she's 23 or something.
Mm-hmm.
She's just got that sort of youngish look.
Yeah.
And so I do realise that when she walks out on stage, I look like a creep.
Especially when she was wearing pigtails and a Rainbow Bright shirt.
She had a
came
teddy
out on
bear.
Her shoes lit up in the heels.
How was your show, Daddy?
And I said, it's past someone's bedtime. Time for you to go to bed.
Get in there. Yeah, she doesn't age.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, sometimes when you're around, but it just doesn't seem like she's aged.
Yeah, she's got perfect skin, so
They're saying once you go Indian, that's all right, isn't it?
Is that the say?
No complaints.
I have the opposite. My
What's he-
husband's 8 years younger than me, but I've aged him. So we look the exact same
when
age.
my wife met me, I didn't have a grey hair. I'm fully grey now after dye. Fully grey. Fully fucking grey.
The saying is, once you go Indian, nothing rhymes with Indian. That's the saying.
Once you go Indian, you don't go out again.
there you go.
Because they keep you at home with the cooking and whatnot.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't even. I find that the Indian community, since I have married an Indian, are very. They come up to me like, "Your wife is very beautiful." I'm like, "Thank you very much." And they go, Where is she from?" And I just make shit up now. I just go, "She's Punjabi." Oh, Punjabi. Oh, I don't fucking know. I'll know when she figures it out.
Right. Gotta get her 23andMe.
No. She her father's from Guyana.
Oh, I just watched the Indian matchmaking show on Netflix, and that's a huge deal. The Guyana Indian population.
Yeah, Guyanese.
Especially when you're
Indian.
matchmaking, because people really want their matches to come from specific regions, and that is obviously
Is that a
very
good
specific
region? Is it Guyanese?
Well, it's North Africa. I mean, it's just so far away. It's a colonized region, so it's a lot within.
They were sent there in indentured servitude, or
it was
like a fancy word for slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were sent there.
Jack, do you have it's been a while. Do you have any?
I do have a segment, but I realized we never talked about the aftermath of the one chip.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what happened? Oh yeah, I know what happened.
Oh
You
yeah.
told me.
So
we had a one chip
Yeah.
experience. If you watch this podcast, you know. Do you know about the one chip?
I'm sorry, no.
The one chip is a thing that someone brought out, which is a single corn chip that's about $20, and you buy them from joke stores or whatever like that. They're covered in this blue dust. You put it in. It's as hot as all balls.
It's like one of the hottest things on
Yeah,
earth.
like if you
The challenge,
if you don't
yeah.
do it with rubber gloves, your hands are going to get burnt and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And you eat the one corn chip, and it's a challenge. A lot of
Yeah.
people vomit. A lot of people.
See how long you can go without drinking water.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a ghost peppery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Jack
think-
ate the one chip. Not only did he eat one chip, then he felt all Teddy Tough Nuts about the whole thing, and he
You
went.
didn't.
He ate
I
a
did.
second.
Yeah.
I ate too.
one.
And I was sick that day. I got here and I was like, "Do you
Yeah.
guys care if I go home?" Like I'm
She was
throwing
meant to
up.
eat the other one. That's why we had the two chips.
And I'm so glad that I was feeling so shitty that I asked to go home, because I would have tried to eat the chip. I would have tried to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And when he called me later, he's like, "I threw up outside of my car." I'm like, "I threw up outside of my car on the way home." We were just like bonding on how shitty we felt.
we can
Puke buddy.
we can get you the one chip.
What is?
Oh, no,
I have two left.
I'm learning from his lived experience.
Yeah, but He ate 2.
But you did throw up eventually.
Did I pay for 4?
Yeah.
What did I buy 4 for?
Because we thought maybe you guys would do it, but then everyone else chickened
I was always
out.
planning on
Okay,
it.
so the big story was there was this one chip. People watch it online, and there's always like people with their kids are doing it, and everyone's vomiting.
You can go back and watch if you haven't seen already.
Or
it's on
drinking
there.
milk or whatever like that. And my son was showing me on TikTok like, oh, this person the 1 chip challenge. What's the 1 chip challenge? And then Jack was like, oh, the 1 chip challenge, right? So, so Jack and my son, I said, oh, maybe we can do that on the podcast like that, right? And then I said, oh, you have to order them online. And then my son Hank was like this. I know where to get them. I know which shop has them. Me and Mum are in a shop. We know where they are. It's down in the Sherman Oaks Mall. Like this, right? So Jack and my son went to the mall together.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jack and the 10-year-old
Westfield?
went.
Yeah.
Went to the mall
that
together.
sounds right.
And then the 10-year-old led him to the 1 chip, and then they came back, and he's like, Dad, we've got them.
But they were
God.
they were from the year before, by the way, too. They were a little bit old.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, but they were.
I don't think they had the newest one.
They were sealed in.
Yeah.
But
They were locked up in
you
the
had an
back.
eventful day after that.
Yeah, because I still had to make a John Mayer concert afterwards with a girl who wasn't into me. And so
But you thought she was into you.
Well, they had gone
she
out
ended
before.
things, I think earlier that week, so I was in a certain mental state.
Oh, wait.
And he was
Oh,
like,
wait,
well,
wait.
you could still come to the concert with me if you want.
I remember
I'm
the
like,
girl-
You're going to throw up on this girl?
Wait a second, though.
Best case scenario.
Wait. You still, but she still went to the concert even though she broke up with you?
We were
As
like
friends.
dating for like a month or so.
Did you pay for the ticket?
She paid for it, yeah.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
It's fine. It's
That's
fine.
okay.
Back in. We're back.
If you're not into me, you pay for
That's
the ticket.
fine.
We call it a day.
Yeah.
No worries.
That's fine.
Otherwise,
So I ate 2. And then I went to
that'll show her.
yeah, that'll show her. And I was
could've been
sweating,
you.
and it was Jim was saying, "You haven't had anything harder than this." Like, I think I have. I don't think I have. So I went to a guitar store around the corner to get something fixed, and when I was in there, I just started sweating. This is like an hour afterwards. I just started profusely sweating. And I go, guys, I think I gotta go. And my tongue started swelling, and I stopped. I couldn't really talk. I was like, I just ate the hottest chip in the world. I think I gotta go. And I felt my stomach like literally just felt like it went upside down. Like I felt it go flop. And then I ran outside and puked all over the street. And then immediately
What color was
It was
it?
the blue
pink because
yeah.
I was downing Pepto, which didn't help. I got in the car, and then it's rush hour, so it's bumper to bumper. It took me 30 minutes to get home. I felt like I was going to shit my pants and vomit constantly and flop sweat.
How hot were the shits?
I didn't shit that day. It was just gas, but
Yep.
it was bad.
That's
And
probably because you threw up enough. Like if you hadn't thrown up, the odds of you having
probably.
really
And
dangerous.
I was on an empty stomach, so it was just the chip.
Ooh.
And
Oh, that's right. You came in. You're like, I didn't eat. I just
didn't
thought you
eat.
make the chip more effective.
I want to give it a virgin.
And so when I get home, I break into a flop sweat and I seize up and start shaking like this, and my hands lock. And I tried getting video of it, but I couldn't get my hands to work. And I tried calling not my date, but the girl or whatever. Like, I can't make it. I think I have to go to the hospital or something. But she didn't pick up.
Oh.
And I had 3 more like. I was having like Lamaze. I was doing like Lamaze breathing. I was stripped down naked. I'm just
God.
sweating profusely, going.
How was your shit?
It was pitch black the next day.
Did it burn your?
Oh
ring?
yeah, and I was in San Diego for a music convention.
See, that's why I wouldn't do it. The hemorrhoids is the reason I wouldn't
Wait,
do
did
it.
you
I
go
could,
to
I
John
could
Mayer?
handle the pain.
Oh, yeah, I made it to John
handle the
Mayer.
pain, but I couldn't handle that pain.
No,
it's
no.
the next day pain. I could not do
That's
it.
what I respect about Jack
I had
is
to give
that
up buffalo
if
sauce for that
he
exact
makes
same
a
reason.
plan to do something, he'll do it. Whereas, like, if I felt even a little bit sick, like, I probably wouldn't go to the concert, and I'm definitely not going to a music convention. He's like,
wait.
I already got the tickets.
You
I'm going."
went to John Mayer though.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna let this stupid chip ruin my chances to see John Mayer.
Chips.
Chips.
Just see
So-
John Mayer for the 10th time.
10th time, but he was
Okay.
it was just by himself. It was just him and a guitar.
That's really special.
Speciale.
I think
My
it's-
body is burning up.
So yeah, during that song, I
ass is
started
in
having a flop
Wonderland.
sweat during the concert.
Oh no! I think it's really a testament to the human body
Yeah.
that you can put that kind of garbage in you, and it doesn't like what it has to do to like process it and get rid of it, but it
Yeah.
will do that.
Yeah, it was
I think
wild.
that too, because it's like there's animals like animals can't eat certain foods or they'll die.
Yeah, like my dog eats a grape
or an onion or something like that. Yeah, and then our body's just like, look, all right, I'm not happy about it, but we're gonna work this out. And
you're gonna you have ooze coming out of your eyes, but we're getting this out.
Yeah, like there's certain things that they sell in gas stations that I don't think they test. Like those, when they get those knockoff candy sections, there's like the candy, and then there's the candy that was made in like Commerce, California, and like industrial district. And they're just like, yeah, we tested this one out. It's like, all right, spicy mango thing, all right. And then you put it in your body, and just like, this would kill an antelope if I just fed it to them. They would just die from processing this. And then
I like all the Hostess knockoffs.
Yeah.
Where the hell
would you do it again?
How is this are you thinking about that?
How is that a decision?
Why would you do
I don't know. Depends how I'm feeling.
Your hand's locked up.
I know. But now I've done it.
We've still got 2 chips.
Oh, am I that stupid? I might be that stupid.
Where are the chips?
But you
They're
have
in
to
my
get a
room.
bargain. Don't say yes before you've made any kind of bargain.
I haven't agreed yet,
Oh.
but I'm close.
Wait, wasn't there? Yeah.
Jim's gotten Jack to eat plenty of things for
it's true.
a few dollars.
Just make a bargain.
It turns out he can get my semen out of his body over time.
Doesn't even make him puke.
But he does see it.
It does ooze out of his eyes.
And he
Not
does
like
sweat profusely.
Not like an epileptic seizure, though. That would be
that would be
disrespectful.
really disrespectful.
No, we don't make fun of that.
He's rolling around with an erection the whole time.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You hurt your dick that way. All right. Well, you lived.
I did live.
Good work, Jack.
So you still got. They're both in your room. If that would have happened to me, I would have thrown them out already.
Well, I figured someone else might want to do it.
I paid for them. I decide whether they get thrown out.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelly, you in for one?
I'll consider it. I will. After his experience, I'm definitely not
He ate
excited,
2.
but I wouldn't do 2.
He ate 2.
I would
He
consider
ate 2 within 20, 30 minutes.
He was pretty good right afterwards. It wasn't that.
I was fine. It was like such a
wasn't-
prolonged
it
thing.
wasn't
The body
that-
needed to be like,
when he
is this
first
real?
ate it, there's other people who are running out of rooms and like and screaming and rolling around, and Jack was like this.
Hoo-ah.
And it wasn't.
you were
He wasn't
Biden.
very.
Yeah, folks.
It wasn't
Right.
as entertaining as I would have liked. But then he did send me a video afterwards, and he's crying in his car. I just want to give you an update.
I love the updates.
The update that no one's asking for. I'm
Situations
dying. Wait, you should splice that stuff together.
I
though,
should.
and
I was
put it
waiting
on-
for
put it
this
on
conversation.
All right, put it on the end of this podcast. Yeah. There you go. You can watch
Is there a
Jack.
way to make it hotter? Could you pour a little bit of sauce on it? Really?
I think it's
Do
hot
like the
enough.
final dab.
I think it's. I remember he was sitting next to you. I was checking on Jack every once in a while. And there was a lot of breathing exercises going on. He was like,
Just, my mouth hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt.
what we should have done is like the
Can't wait
hot
to do
ones
it.
thing where you interview him. And we're just like,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
yeah, we just ask you. Well, I guess there's no personal questions. We'd want to know.
I'd say eat before, don't do 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very easy for me to throw up.
Or don't
So-
do 1 real. It tastes
Don't do
terrible.
one.
I
It
wanted
tastes
to do
terrible.
hot ones for a while there, and now I'm like, I don't think I can.
Oh
do
no,
it.
hot ones is so much better.
Yeah.
Hot
I think
ones is
hot
so much
ones is
better.
fine. It's hot, but it's not like it's real hot sauce.
Because I've done those sauces.
It's supposed to be
so
flavored.
much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get you on
You
hot
should do
ones.
hot ones.
I've never been asked.
Well,
Well,
I'll
I
send
don't-
an email to someone.
I think yeah.
All right, let's go email people.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. You've earned $1. That cost you $1. $1.
$1.25.
Yeah, $1.25.
Yeah.
It depends on the week.
Yeah. In February, it's $1.30.
February.
This month is free. Next month,
February,
we're
we
back.
rape you. You're terrible.
Oh, yeah,
Financially, we get you.
No good.
But you get some of that December entertainment. Ooh, baby. You're sitting good. All right, good night, Australia.